If you want to know how to build this fantastic Jungle Beach Battle of Scarif diorama, you're watching the right video. This is the exact tutorial that fans are going to be using next week at the convention, and this is just one of the option builds, and I think the turnout is really cool. So if you want to know how this was made, you're watching the right video. My name's Frank Diorio, you're watching DioramaWorkshop.com. Hey, welcome back. Okay, so one important thing I want to state before you start watching this is that while I was building the diorama, I noticed that the order that I built it was the wrong way to do it. I started by planting all of the bushes first, and then I planted the trees. And I thought that was the way to do it, but when you're planting the trees, you have to hold them like this and then press down onto your little base here to put pressure on the foam while you're doing the roots with the hot glue on the other side. And by doing that, you're squishing the bushes, and the bushes are actually in the way sometimes. So if the bushes weren't there, you'd have flat foam. It would be a lot easier. And then once the trees are there, it's just as easy to plant the bushes. Okay, so this is how the video works. All the beginning part is perfect, the stencils, that works. After that, skip ahead to the part where you're planting the trees. Once the trees are planted, go backwards to the beginning or the middle and look at how the bushes were planted. So I just wanted you to let you know about this first so that you don't watch the whole video and then say like, oh, what happened? Let's get to the good part, right? Let's learn how to build this amazing diorama. Okay, so if you're doing a jungle, you're going to need your templates for your bushes spacer and for your tree planter. Now, if you're doing this at home after the show, you'll be able to print this templates on the website. And if not, you'll be using 3D printed versions of this at the show. Okay, so I'm assuming you painted your little bushes. There's a separate tutorial video for this. You can go watch that now if you haven't painted it yet. And I'm assuming that you built all your trees for your jungle. If you haven't built your tree yet, there's a separate tutorial showing you how to make it. There's even a time-lapse version if you want to see in 3 minutes what it is, to see if it piques your interest, and then watch the full video to learn how to make it. Once you go and build your tree, then we can continue on over here. Okay, so let's show you how to plant your trees now that everything is done. You're going to grab your bush spacer to begin with, and obviously you want to put your bushes only in the green jungle floor. You're going to take your spacer and you're going to align it on the inside edge over here, the inside edge of your tile, like this. And then you're going to poke with your pencil inside each of the guide marks. Poke, poke, poke. Once that's done, you're going to locate the last row that you did, and you're going to align it with the bottom row here, so I can see all my holes here, and it should align pretty close to the edges that you have over here. So poke, 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 poke. Like this. Now, because your line isn't a straight line, what we're going to do now is you're going to take this side of punctures, of holes that you did, you're going to align it with this part of your stencil until you see all of the demarcations like this. Okay, now if you see a green paint or the green floor below the dot, that means that you have jungle portion of your tile under this one, which means that you can fit another bush over here. This one has sand, so you don't want to do that. This one has green, so we're going to poke that one. And this one has green, so we're going to put a bush there too. So then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to move up over here. Here's my aligning of the template. So I have sand, sand, sand. Oh, I have green here, which means I can put a bush on that one. So I'll have one bush here, one bush, one bush, one bush, and then my rows of bushes. Take your shish kebab skewer, poke through. Try not to put your hand there and poke your fingers. It's hard to see, but the holes are poked through all the way to the other side. Once your bush placements are done, you want to grab your tree placement because that's the next thing that you want to do. Now, for a straight divider, you can go 3 minimum palm trees or up to 6 maximum. So if you're doing 6, you have to do 2 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're doing 3, you could do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you're doing 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. You can use your imagination for that part. As long as you use this, you're fine. In the corner here, in the center of your 4 bushes, this is where you're going to place your stencil, and you're going to press your pencil inside. Now you can rotate your stencil and you'll always have the same distance for your trees. So you can place one tree or your next tree here. You can place it here. You could place it there. Try not to place it inside a bush hole. It'll be better in between or next to it. You can place it here. It doesn't matter. That's up to you. So I'm going to do one over here like this. Then I'm going to move this. Let's see, where do I want the other one? I'm going to do one there. So I hold down my stencil, press down. Then, how many trees do I want on this? Do I want 5 or 6? And I'll do one here, like that. And then I will move this and do one by the beach over here. Once your markings are done, you want to take your pencil and push a little further because your tree roots are fatter than your bushes, and you want to make sure to identify the difference between the tree and your bush holes. This is a tree over here. I have a tree over here. And then one tree over here. And I think I said 5, eh? Yeah, here's the other tree over here. Once your trees are planted and you want to add another one, you can still do that. You can just take your stencil approximate and then say, okay, well, I'm going to place it over here, or I'm going to place it over here. But always use the distance of your stencil. Grab your bushes. If you haven't painted them yet, you can go and watch the separate tutorial on how to transform your aquatic plants into more realistic bushes. We're going to take the white glue, and you're going to be dropping one little blob, like this inside each hole, and then we're going to take the plant. Each bush has a little stem like this. This will go into the hole that we poked, and the glue, once it hardens, will prevent the bush from popping out. Okay, so you take your glue, you're going to place a small drop like that. Then you're going to take your bush and you're going to place it just like that. When the glue dries, it'll dry transparent, so don't worry if you see white at the moment. So now we'll go on to the next one. Bloop. Put another bush inside, like that. Don't put too much. You don't want to put excess. Because your stem is long, it'll set pretty solid going inside all the way there. There's another bush. Another little bush. Just like that. Keep going all the way across. Bloop. Again, if you look like you make a mess, it doesn't matter because the glue will harden transparent. So there you go. Your bushes are all done for your jungle. Now if you have a round part or a corner, it's the same principle. You're still using the stencil, and as long as you plant them where the green space is, you're fine. Okay, so the white glue is pretty much dry. As you can see, it's transparent now, and so we can turn the tile upside down, nothing falls out. Excellent. We're ready for the trees. Some of your palm trees might be sticking up like this, so you want to make sure that they're as close to the straw as possible. And to do that, you just tug on every one of these roots. Okay? Pull all your roots. This will tighten all of the leaves against the top of the straw. Pinch your roots together and then you stick them inside the hole that you made. Can be a bit tricky because the foam wants to sort of like implant it. Once the roots have gone to the other side, you want to spread them back out kind of in a bundle. You don't have to do one at a time, sort of like 2, 3 at a time. And spread them out like this. Right? And then you take your hot glue and then just glue the roots to the base, kind of like Spider-Man's web. Okay, now you want to hold that for about maybe 30 seconds or so. You can bend your tile to make sure that the tree stays in place. Just try to not touch the glue with your fingers because it's very hot and you're going to burn yourself. So you just want to press, want to make sure that these are pressed down as much as you can into the glue. Use multiple fingers. Don't burn yourself again. You could blow on it. Help cool it faster. Now your roots are secure. When you put your tree upside down and sideways, it's not falling out of place, which is good. Now we're ready to plant the next one. So we have another hole over here. Tree number 2. Again, if you haven't made your trees, there's a separate tutorial on how to make these trees. You should go watch that first, because obviously you need to make your tree before you can plant it. Again, yank on these roots, pull them down. See how it'll affect the top? That's why you want to make sure everything is pulled as much as you can. Let's place the roots into this new hole. Wiggle it around. Eventually they'll all go down. And there we go. Press down. Now we can turn upside down. You see your roots can now be spread like this. In order to keep the tree from falling down. Press. And while I'm pressing down, I'm pushing up from the tree base with my fingers. I'm pressing up like this, putting pressure while I'm pushing down on the roots. And then when they're as flat as they can be, like that, get your hot glue right in the center and then do a spider web around it like this. The important thing is the center glob more than the sides, because these will tend to rise a little bit, but there. And now so we have 2 trees. This one's a bit shorter. See, it's not as tall. I made it on purpose to not make all the trees the same height. So this one, there's a hole over here, so we're going to place it. Again, the first thing you want to do is pull on your stems to make sure that all of your palms are sticking or pressing down against the tape, right? Then make sure that all your stems are as close together as possible. I'm going to find my hole there. I'm going to plant them into the hole like this. Wiggle it around, make sure that they all go in together. Press it down till the tree reaches the base, right? You want to pull tight on the roots, and then you want to bend them outwards. That. See, these roots are longer than the others because the tree is shorter. So I'm holding at the base and I'm pushing up. Can you see that? See how it pushes up? So I just want to make sure that these are as flat as possible against the mat. Grab hot glue, center first, then outskirts like Spider-Man. You can put some on if you want, like this, but the important part is really to have it in the center. Okay, we are now at 3 trees. I have 2 more trees to plant in this scene, so let's grab another. How cool is that? Hey, it's starting to look like a jungle. Okay, we have one more tree over here, but you see, like, just 4 trees even would look really cool. I'm noticing with the trees that I put all the bushes first, thinking it was the smartest way, and then plant the trees. But it actually, your fingers get in the way when you're flipping the trees upside down. So I think that the best way to do this is to plant the trees first and do the bushes after. Yeah, it's not bad. How cool is that? What I like is when you're going to have the convention lights and everything, it creates shadows onto the ground realistically because of the palm trees. So now that your trees are ready, they already, some of them, not, you know, they're not all sticking up perfectly straight because of the way that they were placed with the glue and all that, so that's already a good thing. But because the wires are inside the straws and because of they're grouped together, it makes it strong enough to be able to keep a memory. So if you want to have a natural bend in your tree, the way that you would have palm trees have a bend, you can turn your straw and like make it bend like this if you wanted. That's exaggerated there, but that's a way that you could do it. Let's have this slight bend over here. Haha, do you see this? I discovered a rogue palm leaf. See, I didn't pull all the wires properly. As you see, this wire is sticking out from the top of the tree where it should be, this part should be at the base. And now that the hot glue is hardened underneath, well, now it's too late to be able to pull this back down. So what we're going to want to do is take some scissors. We're going to have to give it a haircut. Once you finish playing with your curves of your trunks and you're happy with that, then you can manipulate the leaves and reposition them if you want. You can change the curves in the leaves because they each have their individual wires, remember? So you can like make them either go down, go up, like if they were in the wind. It's up to you. No 2 tree will be the same. That's what's really cool about this whole diorama experience. Now we're ready to take our FFG figures. You could place them in here, or you can move them in between these 4, or you can move them over here. It's up to you. See how the base acts as camouflage? And it looks like he's just standing on the tile itself. You don't see the little base, which is really cool. Let's put his friends in there. Let's put one here. Then one reaching behind them. Like that. So there you have them all. Your jungle is complete. Your beach scene is complete unless you made some mini crates with the decals and the foam core. Then you can place these on the beach part of your diorama. You could take another crate like this, put this one maybe over here, or you could put the 2 side by side. It's up to you. It's kind of like a dress up. That's the fun part of the diorama. Mini bunkers that you could put like this on the sand. Crate, crate, crate. Mini bunker, sand, Jungle. That's pretty cool.
Thanks for watching DioramaWorkshop.com. If you want more interactivity, you can follow us on these multimedia platforms. If you have a question about past or future Star Wars Celebration workshops, send me an email at dioramaworkshop.com@gmail.com. If you have a Facebook account, join the official Star Wars Celebration Diorama Builders fan club today. If you like the video, please subscribe, share, and tell your friends to come check us out. If you want to see even more Star Wars Celebration crew coverage, click on the link to warp to dioramaworkshop.com, the official Star Wars Celebration Diorama Builders website.